Hello, hope we're all okay. Big shout out to everyone out there who likes, shares, comments and subscribes. Thank you very much. Without you, I wouldn't have a platform. So thank you for that. Really appreciate all your support. Today I want to talk about the movie A Prayer Before Dawn, which is based on my life experience. How accurate was it? Well, I'd say it was about 90% accurate. I worked alongside the director John Stefan more or less every day. Me and Joe Cole, the guy who played the role of Billy Moore in the movie, you know, we were in touch with each other on a regular basis, and we still are, and we're still good friends today. You know, I love Joe. I loved his passion, his drive, and you know, we made that movie. Him, John Stefan, and all the people that were involved. Now, Joe, he wasn't our first choice. I don't think many people know that. The first choice was a guy called Charlie Hunnam. Now, Charlie Hunnam was an actor in Sons of Anarchy called Jax. Now, he was, like, I think, a British actor from Newcastle. Good looking fella. He was great for bringing in the money, according to the producers. I wasn't too keen on him, to be fair. Initially, I was a bit starstruck and overwhelmed that they chose, you know, an incredible actor like himself. However, I was really glad that he moved on. And the reason he moved on, he was on board for a year. And Guy Ritchie was making a movie called King Arthur, and that came around. And unfortunately, or fortunately, you know, Charlie went and done that role. So it was never meant to be. And when Joe got on board, it was meant for him. It really was. And he played an incredible Billy Moore, without a shadow of a doubt. You know, he even wanted to put on a Scouse accent. He was phoning me saying, "Oh, Bill, you know, you might find this strange, but I'm gonna start talking in Scouse." I was like, "What, lad? You know, it's gonna be a really difficult task for someone who's definitely from out of town, like a southerner, to put on a Scouse accent. You know, you're either going to sound like John Lennon or like you're from Birkenhead." And that's no offence to Birkenheaders, by the way. No way. No way. On top to death and devoed, Billy. I'm playing Billy Moore in a movie and it's on top. Oh, no dice, no corned beef curry fried rice law. No, he didn't sound like that, but, you know. But once again, no offence to you Jedis out there. Love yous. There's a few supporters and I appreciate that. But how accurate was it? Yeah, like I said, it was 90% accurate. Was I any good at boxing? Yeah, I could fight. I could take a few digs. I don't think it was skilled to a point where I was going to win, you know, titles in the future. I would have loved to have. You know, I won my first 5 amateur fights on the run, and I thought it was unbeatable. I remember that John Rice was in my corner. I was in the St Ambrose ABC. Then it got sponsored by Gemini. And I remember, like, one of my toughest fights with a kid called Mikey Wright. Now, Mikey Wright, he's passed away now. Rest in peace, Mikey. What a tough kid he was. And I remember we were going to the New Montrose in Waterloo, and it was, can't remember what night it was, but I was fighting Mikey that night, and he was probably my toughest fight to date. That kid had a dig that, you know, nearly put me to kip. He hit me with everything, you know, and it hurt. You know, I won, by the way, on a majority decision. I remember it well. It was, he caught me in the second round with this right cross, and I thought, oh my mate, I thought, I'm going. I've never been hit like that in my life. You know, and all I could do after that was, like, just keep on the attack, defence, just keep away from that solid knockout dig he had. And then there was another kid called Maddox. You know, he had a tough look as well. And I remember that was my 5th fight, and I lost that one. I remember sitting down after the first round because, you know, I went out and he come out like a bull, like a raging bull. I mean, he just charged out and he was throwing everything at me. And I was just covering up, and I thought, oh, what's going on here? This kid's, you know, he's ferocious. some work behind them punches. Sat down after the first round, and John Rice was saying to him, look, throw the towel in. That's the truth. I said, throw the towel in. This kid's punching my head. He went, no, Bill. Just get back out there, mate. You're going to be okay. He's tiring out. And I went out to listen to his guidance, and I started jabbing, and I caught him with a punch that really just, his nose bled, and, you know, and I started feeling a little bit more confident, and, you know, the fight was more even then. I think he beat me on the fact that he'd come out in the first round and just smashed me to pieces. And I lost that on a majority. So, I lost a few. You know, one more than I did lose. Didn't have that many, a great deal. I had about 16 as an amateur. Then got wrapped up in addiction, spent years in and out of prisons, using drugs, wasted youth. You know, my career was down the line. It was gone. You know, any chance of a career, to be honest, was out the window as soon as I picked up drugs. You know, and yeah, went to Thailand, got in recovery, went to Thailand, loved the Muay Thai boxing out there, was obsessed with it. You know, lost dreams, awoken, gets in the ring, gets battered a few times, learns a few more lessons again, learns how to teep, learns how to throw a few elbows, knees. I think, you know, I was sticking with the boxing and the basics of what I knew initially, and I continued with that because the footwork for me was quite different from the footwork from the Muay Thais, and they're lethal. You know, every blow's just blessed with venom. They just rip you apart. So, you know, I wouldn't get involved in the clinches and the holds, and I was terrified to get that close because I knew that the knees would be going in, the elbows would be taking the eyes out. It's a very, very volatile, dangerous sport. You know, it's the most devastating martial art on the planet, Muay Thai. So, but yeah, I was in the ring 3-4 times a night. You know, and I loved it. I loved the thrill of it. I thought that, you know, getting in the ring was, for me, was easier because, you know, I could deal with getting punched in the face, but I couldn't deal with the affairs of the art outside the ring. You know, coping with people, life on life terms. I struggle with that massively, especially rejection. You know, and I know that we're all somebody else's rejection in life. You know, and to deal with it, it's quite, it affects everything about you. You know, it makes you feel really low in yourself. You've got no confidence. You know, you feel crap. You don't feel like worthy of anything. So yeah, rejection was a big one for me. Couldn't accept it. I mean, I don't mean just like from women. I mean anyone who said no, I took it as a personal insult. So yeah. But the movie came about from the experiences he had in Thailand, the boxing, the drug dealing, the drug taking, the prison. I know the film goes straight into the prison system. You know, there's a brief introduction where I'm fighting in a ring in some random bar in Thailand, and you know, and I'm getting battered because I did lose more than I won over there, to be honest. And this is what I'm saying. I'm not really like blessed the way they were. You know, I could take a dig, I could take a few. I've never been knocked out. Once, tell a lie, once I got knocked out by by a guy from Sweden. I think he was the #2 world champion kickboxer. And I remember the old trainer saying to me, he's having a fight, this Swedish kid. So just get in, Bill, and take it easy on him. I'll do a favour, just take it easy on him. Mate, he kicked me in the head and I woke up with a different religion. I had snow on my boots. And that was when I relapsed. The shame kicked in and he was over me. And he was really, like, concerned and comforting me. You're okay, mate, get up, you're all right. I'm like, yeah, I'm sound. What happened there? You know, I'm all right, I'm okay. And I was like, look, Billy, you were knocked out. I was like, no, I wasn't, mate. You were knocked out. And he just said to me, why don't you go and get some medication, get some diazepam, you'll be all right. Now, I've been in recovery for like 3 years by this time, clean. I hadn't touched anything. So I was a bit confused, and it sounded like a great idea, and I justified it, and I went to, you know, the doctor's doing it the right way, you know, manipulating myself. I'll sit with the doctor will give me it, he'll prescribe it, it's okay if he prescribes it. This is what I tell myself, kid myself. He prescribes me diazepam. Take one every 4 hours, Bill. Yeah, all right, sound. Boom. take the whole lot. I think he gave me about 5, nicked every one of them, couldn't remember a thing. Woke up in some unsavoury places, loads of drink, loads of drugs. I've hit the ground running, I'm using, that's it. Try and get clean again, have a brief stint at it, you know. Stallone's Rambo 4 came on board and I got a job with them, so stay clean. Managed to stay clean through the whole process of the movie. Had a wonderful experience there. It was very glamorous. Enjoyed working with Sly. He was my hero, and I kept calling him Rocky. Hey, yo, Rocky, how you doing, Rocky? Yo, yeah, this ain't Rocky, this is Rambo, man. I said, mate, you'll always be Rocky to me. I loved Rocky. I had my brothers and sisters. I'm the oldest out of 6 of us, and I had all my brothers and sisters running down the road and speak behind me with that tune going round in my head. Come on! And having all my brothers go on, Rock! You know, and I'll challenge anyone out there at my age who didn't feel motivated or still does today at that theme, that song. It's brilliant. So yeah, I had that experience. And you know, obviously I ended up getting arrested because of the way, you know, my behaviour and my addiction, and it's, you know, I thought it was untouchable. No, Thailand is like, you can get away with a few things on the sly. You can see busies and you can give them a drop scene, they'll give you a squeeze, but you know, it gets to a point where enough's enough and you've got nothing. You can't bribe them, and I'm in a cell and I'm locked up and I'm charged with handling a stolen mobile phone. Now, I'd like to say it was some Colombian cartel drug smuggler and I was doing international $1 million deals across nations and, you know, galaxies and universes, but it wasn't. So I was a 2-bit drug dealer who had developed an habit on yaba, you know, some crazy drug. I loved it. It had a hold of me. It took me to the very depths of hell. And, you know, I was that skinny by the time the police arrested me. I could hang glide off of the Dorito. That's the truth. You know, I looked like an anorexic panda, a paranoid one. So yeah, and the prison experience, again, going into a cell, watching people getting raped and murdered and eating mystery meat and, you know, sticky rice every single day. That was the staple diet for me. And having to kind of just survive. It wasn't living, it was surviving on a daily basis. You had to walk around with a bed that I bought. It took me like a year to buy 4 blankets, get them stitched together, roll it up and walk around with it constantly, because otherwise it gets stolen on you. You know, when I first went in, I was sleeping on the floor. I'd managed to get a toilet roll as a pillow. It was a hard floor and I had a massive sweaty arms and legs wrapped around me, and it was just, wow, it was horrendous. And it's still like that today. That's how Thai prisons are. So the film was as accurate as it is. You know, the Ladyboy scene, John Stefan, great director. He put that in for the drama. He asked me, was it okay? I wasn't asked. I'm all right with that. I've wrote everything in the book, which is true. You know, I had a few feelings over this ladyboy who took it up on herself to take care of me after I'd been beaten. I didn't have the feelings of sexual feelings. I had feelings of, like, you know, empathy and understanding and kindness. That's the truth. There was a few in there that I probably would have, like, on the sly, if no one was around and no one knew it, I could keep it a secret, probably bummed the living daylights out of, but, you know, it never happened. And if it did, I'd have felt loads of guilt and shame. But you got to be honest, haven't you? So yeah, the movie, it's accurate. The fighting scenes were incredible, you know, especially from Joe, and he had a great choreographer out there, you know. So and he trained really hard, trained really well. But yeah, so the film doesn't really depict the backstory. The book does. So if you want to buy the book, you can get that on Amazon. This is the second book. It's called Fighting for My Life. You can also get this on Amazon. These are both bestsellers, by the way. But let me tell you, right, whether the bestsellers or international bestsellers, and you've made a movie and you've got t-shirts and you're on you're living off the spin-offs. It doesn't work like that. You don't write a book and all of a sudden you're Keiko, because you're not. Because there's a lot of other people up there that are taking the money off you. You know, I get a small, if not like nothing as a percentage. I haven't seen a penny off the movie since it's been released. You know, I've got a down payment, and that obviously got used on drugs, because you're going to give someone who's smoking copious amounts of crack cocaine and heroin, who's also being diagnosed with cancer and thinks he's going to die, a lump sum of money. Then I'm going to party till I drop, and I spent it all pretty quick. So there was nothing invested in that, and that's the truth. But yeah, you know, it's just nice to have a legacy, and for people to be inspired by the story, and gives them hope that, you know, you can go through all these hardships, you know, and all these losses and, you know, life lessons, and still get through it okay and come out intact. That's the truth, and that's what I want to do. I want people to feel inspired, and, you know, I really do appreciate these opportunities to sit down and have a little chat with you. And, you know, once again, thank you for supporting my channel. There's a few great podcasts I put up recently, and I find that some of these videos, these blogs, get more views, which it's okay. It is what it is. You know, I'm not, you know, judging anyone, but the last podcast I put up was absolutely, that's an inspiring story. So if you get the chance and you've got a bit of time on your hands, give it a little watch. Other than that, once again, thank you. I'll put the links in the description to these books. Take care now.